So hello everyone. Um, guess I just want to give my thoughts of what we've been seeing in the United States and the world, I guess, because I saw London. They started marching for what happened to George Floyd here in the United States. So I've been very outspoken of what my thoughts are. I don't think I've ever made a video. But seeing all the burning, looting, robbing and all the stuff that's going on in the country, I feel like we're doing more damage than finding a solution to the problem. But again, I don't think we have, as a nation, tried to find a solution to the original problem. By that, I mean this is George Floyd is not the first man that has been killed by police. He is one of the few that were recorded, posted on social media, and all of us to see. So with that, I'll be a fool to say that I don't understand why the riots and protests and looting and all that is happening, and the burning down of businesses and I guess a police department building or something was burned. Yeah, I'll be a fool to say that I don't understand why it's happening, because it started as a protest demanding justice for George Floyd. Mind you, this is within, I guess, a period of few weeks. Everybody was on their toes and pretty much ticked off of what happened in New York with that lady walking her dog and putting her privilege on top of the black man, saying, I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to tell her that I'm being in danger by a black person. So she knew what she was doing. And don't give me that, oh, we didn't see the before and after. You didn't have to see it, because you knew what she was doing from the get-go. You knew that she thought in her mind, I have won over him. As soon as I get the cops here, it's my word against his. That's not okay. That's not okay. And then prior to that, we have the guy was running and he gets shots by two fucking animals who thought that he was robbing people in the neighborhood. So they took it upon their own hands and they shot him. And it was recorded. And we're not just finding out until months later, because I believe this happened either in January or February, and we're just finding this out now. So how do you think people are going to be acting within a period of a matter of weeks? How do you think people are going to be acting where you guys are shooting people just to shoot people? Unbelievable. And then for those who are talking their nonsense and not understanding of why this is happening, thinking that it's okay for you to go protest a few weeks ago because you couldn't get your hair cut, that you thought that was okay, and then somehow this is not. So it's okay for you to protest because you can't get your hair cut, but it's not okay for the black community to protest because one of their own got killed again in the hands of a police officer. So you think that's all right? I want to switch things over here a bit. What if the protests after George Floyd was killed? What if black men started protesting in the streets, holding their guns, holding, what is it, AK-47 rifles, whatever gun there is? What if that was the case? It's two different Americas. Hispanic people can't do that. Black people can't do that. Why are you guys the only ones there? And don't get me wrong, and I hate to put this, I'm not attacking all white people, because not all white people are the same. I'm attacking those who thought it was okay a few weeks ago to walk into the state capitals demanding for the states to be open because they got sick and tired of being locked in while we were going through a pandemic, saying it's a free country and no, they shouldn't be locked in. You don't know what this virus could do to somebody. And nobody knows unless one of your own went through this. And last week, my uncle passed away. And the hardest thing about this whole situation is that my family can't get together and be together while we go through this loss. The funeral was only for 2 hours. It's in and out, and it has to be by groups. You think that's okay? You think that the coronavirus is a fake thing and is a hoax and it has no effect? You guys are unbelievable. And you taking your protest, holding up Confederate flags, what kind of shit is that? Holding up Confederate flags, saying that it's part of the history and we can't forget yes, we cannot forget the history of. First of all, if that's something that you think that decade after decade after decades be proud of, is that something that we need to keep reminding Americans that we did that? Is that something to be proud of and represent it with flags, in our shirts, in our cars, in our homes? Is that something that you're really proud of? That's one. What I really don't understand either is some of you guys holding Nazi flags. What kind of shit is that? Nazi flags? Did you guys forget? You die-hard patriots. You die-hard Americans. You die-hard Republicans who love this country so damn much. Did you guys forget that we went to war because of that fucking flag and everything it stood for? Did you guys forget that so many American soldiers died fighting against that flag? And somehow you hold it up thinking you're doing the best you can because it's helping this nation out. So you think you're doing a good thing by holding that flag up. Yes, the Constitution, you could do it. But is it good? Are you really a patriot when you're holding that flag up? I'm sorry. What? And to my Latino people, why you guys stayed quiet when our own, and to this day they still are, locked in cages, not being treated, not given medicine, food, kids dying. And we saw it in video. We saw the little kid fainting and being left there for a few hours until the police or whoever it is that was in charge of that came and saw that he was dead. And you guys said nothing. Being silent is part of the problem. I'm trying to understand, where do we meet in the middle? And it's hard to do that when we have a president who is not helping. The only thing he's doing and the only thing he has done is divided this nation more. No, it did not start with Trump. It did not start with him. But he sure did add gas to the fume, which is making it worse. And it's sad what's going on in this country. And I applaud the police officers who got down on their knees next to the protesters because they know there's something wrong with this nation. I am happy to see those white Americans, those Muslims, Asians, Hispanics standing up with the black community through this. And again, I don't think it's right when you start burning down businesses, because these people have worked their asses off to have something. And you're, at one point or another, you're causing more damage. And then we lose track of what's the actual problem in this country. But again, I'll be a fool to not realize why it's happening. Because a football player took his knee down while the national anthem was happening. And everybody went crazy, saying how disrespectful it is while the national anthem is playing. You get down on a knee. That is not a way to protest. Blah, 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 blah. So what is the right way? Do we need to start there marching, holding our guns, holding the Nazi flag with the Confederate flag for you guys to change the law and help us out? Is that what it will fucking take? Because let me tell you something. You guys really think that this country belongs to you guys. And if we don't agree with you guys, somehow we need to go back to our country. You guys need to stop that shit. Because this country does not belong to you. So when you guys tell me go back to Honduras or go back to wherever the hell you came from, I came here when I was 6, 7 years old. I have no history, no education on the Honduran anything. What I study is American studies. This is my country. And if I say something, it's because I'm hurting to see what's going on in the world. What it's hurting, it's what's going on in the black community. What's hurting, it's what's going on in my community. What's going on in the Muslim community. What's going on with the Asian community. What's going on in United States. It's supposed to be the greatest country, and I still believe it is, because I will die for this country. I have a brother who's in the Navy serving this country. We believe in this country. But Lord have mercy, you guys need to meet in the middle. You guys need to stop this bigotry of white supremacy, of holding these Nazi flags, Confederate flags, because your guys are causing more damage and you guys are not helping out at all. Because if you thought it was okay to protest to open the country up and you stayed quiet when this man got killed, and now you're speaking up because Target is being burned down, you're part of the problem. And it needs to stop.